freaking fucked up, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been blessed. I knock on wood every single time. It just,
Okay, everybody, we are back with another super special guest. Today's guest is a pro MMA fighter. He currently fights for Bellator in the lightweight division. He has just a suffocating, dominant wrestling style all around. Good fighter. He's 10-0. He is Archie King Colgan. Hey, Archie, thank you so much for being with me today.
yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.
I just want to backtrack a little bit. You're a Bellator guy. Last November, PFL, when they acquired Bellator, a couple of things. Did that affect you at all? And then, just for like the casual fan, if you could kind of break down the difference between PFL and Bellator, and they're under the same umbrella.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, when they, I guess when the acquisition actually happened and they, purchased Bellator or whatever that is, I thought a lot was going to change. And for a while, I fought in November, and then that's when they announced it, like right after that card. And there was like silence. They didn't have anything until February. So November until February was
Wow.
just completely dead. So I think everybody, I did some interviews and stuff. People like asking me like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea." So there was like that limbo land where everybody was just like wondering what is going on.
Mhm.
And then I came back, and they started having those cards, and I came back and fought in May, and it was like seamless. It doesn't seem any different, except for I fought in the UK, so that's different, obviously. So having to travel across seas, and that was different. But like, yeah, I still deal with Mike Kogan, and
Mhm.
when I got out there, some of the people during fight week was different, but most of them were still there. I did miss Burt Watson. He's the man. He made fight week feel special, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was seamless, man. It was like, and on top of it, to be honest, my job is to go out there and fight. So,
Right.
at the end of the day, I don't care who's checking me into the hotel. I got a job to do.
Right. Yeah. And you've been with Bellator for quite a while. If you were like, hey, I want to get in that PFL tournament, are you allowed to do that? Is there crossover? How's that work?
Yeah, there is, but when they made the separation, they're going to run Bellator separate than PFL.
Right.
I asked my manager kind of what those routes look like, and I made the goal personally to myself to become Bellator champion. So I
Mm.
asked him, "Is that still a possibility?" And when he told me yes, then I said that's what I want to do. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So now fast forward to now. We're about 2 weeks out now.
yeah,
Big fight, London, Bellator Championship Series. What's camp looking like right now? And then if you could break down these last couple weeks leading up to that fight, what's that look like?
yeah. Camp's doing really good. I had to, I didn't have to, but I took myself out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I went down to Florida and trained down there with Kamaru and those Kill Cliff guys,
Mm.
just to make myself feel uncomfortable, see some people that I haven't seen, get pushed by people that I just haven't trained with. So there's always that weird feeling when you haven't trained with somebody before. So just to make myself uncomfortable, learn some new things, pick up some new tricks, bring it back home. And then these last 3 weeks, I went out there, a couple weeks ago. So this last 3 weeks of push here, I just came back in and zoned in with my team and locked back in. And this is like the last hard week. The beginning of next week will also be some hard push, but we'll cut that about Wednesday, and then Thursday I will fly out to London. Get situated out there. I'll get out there, 8 days prior to the fight, get acclimated, get ready, and then it's fight week, and let's go.
Yeah, yeah. Now, have you ever been to London? Would this be your first time?
Yeah, I mean, I flew to London to get to Paris for my last fight,
Right.
but I was just couple hour layover in the airport. So
Hmm.
I've been to London, but no, this will be different. It'll be cool to like get out. I like going extra because I get to go out there and venture around a little bit. Before fight week starts and things get serious, you get to go out there a little bit and venture and see a little culture and you just see something that I haven't seen before. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is a business trip mostly, but do you like, is there anything specific you want to see, like big banners? It just like do what you can type thing?
I've done no research. What should I see? Is
Yeah.
what are they known for?
I've never been. I know they got that big clock, and I don't know. They got tea, they got crimpets. I don't know much.
That's all I know too, but I can't enjoy all the food stuff yet. I'm looking
Really?
forward to after the fight eating some fish and chips in London.
Yeah,
That's I don't know how good it's actually gonna be, but I gotta try it. So no, yeah, I don't have like set destinations that I want to see. Like Paris was different. You
yeah.
gotta go see the Eiffel Tower. You
Hmm.
gotta go see some of these things.
Right.
So, but London, no, I don't have those, but I do want to just like experience, bumping shoulders with somebody day to day and just see how life is lived over there.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, that kind of vibe. Not so much like touristy stuff, but just like see what the culture is, see what people live like out here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then the fight itself, you're going against another guy who's undefeated, Manuel
Yeah.
Sousa. I think he's 11-0. You're 10-0. He's just a touch younger than you. How do you feel about that matchup? And how do you see that going?
Yeah, I think we're exactly like you're saying. We're like in the exact same positions. We're both these young um, star standing guys whose trajectory is going to the top. So it was about time that we meet. Not him and I, but just me and somebody else who's in this same situation. So um, yeah, I feel great about it. Obviously, he's a dangerous opponent, um, but so am I, and I know that my skills are higher level, and
Mm,
I have to go out there and not get caught into some swinging fest, and
mm.
I think that through good understanding of the fight and the respect, obviously, of what is in front of me, I feel like I can pick him apart.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then I like asking fighters like between rounds. You have a couple of your last fights were decision victories. Between rounds, what do you like to hear? Is it motivational? Are you more of a technical guy? What do you like hearing in between rounds?
Uh, man, I like a calm voice.
Hmm.
I like low energy, real calm with some small instruction. I
Right.
don't. I feel like when people come into the corner and they're real frantic, like we need you to go to, we need you to go, and
Yeah.
I'm just got done with a 10-8 round. I just smashed this guy, but it makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. So
Oh,
I
right.
I like a calm voice with just some basic clear instruction, and then as they leave a little bit of like another thing of like, hey, just stay disciplined.
Mm,
Just another small key words that will mean a lot to me, but instead
yeah.
of like this big paragraph that they just spill at me, just
Mhm.
small key things like, hey, you need to trot your foot with your jab. You need to add in some more level changes. You need to stay a little bit more active.
Mm,
Little things like that, and then maybe a couple highlights of things that I'm already doing well. Hey, that right hand's looking good. Your footwork's looking good. And just
right.
small things, but yeah, like a calm tone to it.
Mm,
That's money to me.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And then I guess it would depend how the fight goes, but when you get home, your recovery and stuff like that, do you like to take like a break, or are you more like get back in there as soon as you can? What's your process after a fight looking like?
Yeah. So like as soon as the fight is done, I've been blessed these last few fights, virtually zero damage.
Mm,
And after every single fight since my very first pro fight, I was like, this is the last time that I'm gonna be, walking all right, or my face isn't gonna be all beat up.
mhm.
I'm gonna be not all freaking fucked up.
Yeah.
And I've been blessed. I knock on wood every single time. It just, I handle these fights well, get good finishes, take very little damage, or like these last three fights, real dominant and take little damage. So, I always prepare for the worst. So, I plan on coming back real banged up and beat up. Um, but whatever it is that happen, I normally take off that first week
Mhm.
and don't even go to a gym. I don't, like it's sometimes a little selfish because sometimes it'd be nice to go in there and finish out people's sparrings and stuff. But I like to take myself completely away from fighting, at
Yeah.
least 1 week, maybe two, just so I can get like hungry to go to the gym again. Because I feel like a lot of people they fight on Saturday or Friday, and then on Monday they're back in the gym, and
Mhm.
there's like never the miss of the gym. I like to take myself out of the picture and
Mm-hmm.
then be like, all the little mental struggles, be like, dang, I want to work out, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I hold myself back from it. So then when it's time, a week or two later, when it's time for me to go back in there, I'm like, I want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to be back because I have been gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been lucky that I don't have to take more time off because some serious injuries or something that has happened. So
Yeah, yeah, that's super fortunate. I know you said for this camp specifically, you went down to Florida, the Kill Cliff guys, but your home base in Denver,
yeah,
all the guys you got, Bazil, you got Gaethje. Just talk about how important it is to be around all those killers, like people say.
yeah. I mean,
What is going on, everybody? I hope you're loving this interview so far. Make sure you drop a comment, hit the like button, left hook the subscribe button, and let's get back to the action.
like iron sharpens iron. That's a saying that obviously
Yes.
biblical, but also it's just a true saying. If you, not to say that if you aren't good, or if you, it's guaranteed gonna be, you sharpen your iron, somebody else's iron, but like people who are good are competitive and that don't want to lose. So
Right.
then when you train with guys like that, you both don't want to lose. And if you have a good training partner, then it's not health benefit. Like
Mm.
nobody's trying to risk the other's body in trying to win. But if we're gonna have to scrap for it, we're gonna scrap for it because we both want to win. And in
Yeah.
doing that, you're just bound to get better. So those two guys that you just listed, obviously, great training partners. But Chepe Mariscal, he's really making a big run for
Mm.
himself in the UFC these last like 4 fights I think he's had. And he's a dog, man. He fought 2 weeks ago and got a nice cut and beat the hell out of the dude. But he came back in, just this last week and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be here to finish out your sparring for you." And I was like, shout out you, bro. So,
Mm.
um, and yeah, I'm just surrounded by great people. Muhammad Naimov, he's another great fighter. Grant Neal, he's the one on the bigger side. I don't really train too much with them, but just great people, great training partners, and we're all headed towards that goal of championship and trying to be the best.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. What's your take on sparring? Like, you got the guys like Strickland doing it every single day.
Yeah.
People like Max Holloway say they don't really spar anymore. What's your take on that?
Um, I think I like to spar. I think most people like to spar.
Right.
That's like part of the dangers in it, I guess. I think that's the last thing that I get right back to after a fight. Like
Mm.
when I finish fighting, if I had a serious training partner who needed me, I would get back to him because, I want to help them out the best I can. But
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, if I could go if I go back to training after a week, I would go probably 4 weeks, 3 weeks without sparring.
Mm.
I like to spar. I think that I need it because I'm not at the point where I just understand everything in a fight and I need to do that as much as possible. But the truth is the truth. Like, you bang up your head a lot and you
Mm.
don't take care of yourself. You don't allow yourself to recover. It will take a toll eventually.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. A lot of people say it's like the only way to get those live rounds, like the bullets firing, but you
Yeah.
got to balance like risk versus reward.
Yeah.
I just want to do a pivot. Do you follow how much do you follow like the pure jiu-jitsu world, like the CJI stuff just went on, the Craig Jones
Yeah.
Invitational, trying to
I
compete
don't
with
follow it that
PCC?
well.
Yeah.
If you were like naming a bunch of big name jiu-jitsu guys, I wouldn't really probably know most of them. But I did follow some of the Craig Jones stuff,
Yeah.
because there was like a bunch of wrestlers who got to compete. So I was just interested in seeing how these guys had fared themselves.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's good for the sport just, having something else to push, kind of those old guard like ADCC and stuff like that to try to make them up their game and pay
Yeah.
these guys and stuff like that. So I think it's good all around.
Yeah. Yeah. From what it looked like, it was cool. It was a pretty open floor, and these guys
Mhm.
got to compete like all over the place. And they brought in some really high level wrestlers and got to see how they stood their ground. One of them just retired. His name was Jason Off. He's a wrestler, and
Yep.
he just retired from wrestling. I assume that he got the bug. He went and competed and
Mm.
got the bug, and he got the itch for it, and he thought yeah, I can do this. So I expect to see him probably taking on that jiu-jitsu scene and based off of his style of wrestling and how he like scrambles and funks, he's gonna do really well.
Yeah, yeah, it is interesting to see those that just have like mostly that wrestling background coming
Yeah,
in, kind of, if not beating, like at least competing with these pure like jujitsu guys, and it's
yeah,
just interesting because it's like after college, unless you go to Olympics, there's not much route for wrestlers.
yeah. No, there's not like they don't just do one-off tournaments like CGI, or
Yeah,
stuff like that. It's just worlds and Olympics, which is all great, but it's really hard to become. You got all of United States, and only one guy gets to go qualify and represent.
yeah,
You don't. If me and you are in the same weight class, only one of us gets to go, so the other guy just sits out, makes no money.
hmm,
Where versus these tournaments, we could both go enter into this tournament, and we could both make a little bit of money. So it's a little
yeah, 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 for sure. How would you say like your like the evolution of your training and stuff like that since you started?
Yeah, I mean, this changed kind of a lot. So when I first started, I was working in 9 to 5. When I was at my amateur days, I was working in, just a normal job and just training
Mm,
when I could. That changed when I turned professional. My wife and I gambled on it, and I had a small sponsor who was helping me a little bit, but my wife and I gambled, and she stayed working. She was a respiratory therapist at the time, and then I, left my job so I could focus on fighting. That took off really well for me, obviously, and I did really well. And now she's a stay-at-home mother. We had kids. She stays home with the kids. I train and fight full time. And I've invested a lot into it. Like, I went out and bought myself an ice bath. I
mm,
got a sauna. I made our garage a little gym area that I can get small workouts in or stretch and roll around a little bit.
mm.
Obviously, I teach my boys a little bit of wrestling in there too. But yeah, that was I made a little gym in my house, so bought the ice bath. I bought these recovery boots. Like yeah, I've invested a lot into trying to take care of my body the best I can because I see some of these guys who are really old and obviously behind the camera maybe they're really hurting like they but like a guy like Michael Chandler, an explosive guy, similar body style and to myself, he
Right.
seems to be doing really well body wise.
Mm,
The mechanics of how his body works, he seems to be doing really well like he was 5 years ago. And he
yeah.
he takes care of his body. So it can be done. So I look at longevity and how long I want to reign and become great. And if
Yeah.
I can invest early in these years where your body feels good,
Hmm.
then I think when your body doesn't feel good, it'll feel better than it did before.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Usman Nurmagomedov, current Bellator lightweight champ. What do you think of him?
What I think of Usman,
Usman, yep.
yeah, I mean, he's comes from a great camp. He's obviously very skilled.
Yeah.
Um, he's got good kickboxing stand up. Um, and I think that we probably don't see it as much because he's got good kickboxing stand up and he can control range. But if you're coming from that camp, he's going to be a good wrestler, good grappler.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's a really well-rounded fighter, and he's just like a couple years younger than I am. So we're like in the same evolution of the game. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think he's a tough puzzle to crack. So
Yeah.
he's obviously really talented and really good. But yeah, I look forward to that matchup one day.
Yeah. Those dang Dagestanis, man. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, gonna have to take it from him and put the USA on it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think you'll get there. And then on the same night, just a little sidetrack here. September 14th, UFC's having their Noche night.
Yeah,
Marab versus Sugar Sean. Just how do you
yeah.
see that fight going? Just quick prediction there.
That's so hard for me because like
So,
so hard because like one side of me is like, man, what's telling me that Marab can't take him down and just hug him or control him and rough him up,
yeah,
for 3 rounds and then gas him out. Because we in the last fight against Cheeto, Sean, he got tired,
mm,
and I
yeah,
think if you wrestle that hard, eventually you're gonna get tired too. So Marab's gonna get tired. But
right,
I think the later rounds, I don't know. I think probably favor Marab because if they're both tired and Marab can take him down and just kind of like hold him down, then he can secure those wins.
Yeah.
But I'm also was pleasantly surprised with Sean's takedown defense against Aljo. So
Yeah.
I honestly, this one I don't have a pick because I can see it going like he starches them early or picks them apart and like keeps distance the entire fight, and I can
Yeah.
also see it like being he takes him down and he can't get up
Right.
because he's relentless. So I don't have a pick on that fight. That
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, I won't be betting on that. It's gonna be too tough. I bet against Sean in the Aljo fight, and he got
Yeah.
smoked. So that one's tough. It's too hard. It's like part of me wants Marab to win, but
I feel you.
yeah, that's gonna be tough. And then just before I get you out of here, you want to shout out anybody else, plug your socials, everything like that, and things to look forward to. Obviously the big fight we mentioned, but anything else?
Yeah, I mean, shout out my sponsors right here. You can see support blue collar. This is Troll Co Company. And then actually another one, My Fit Foods on this side. Yeah. My Fit Foods, real big shout out to them because, they have supplied me meals for all of my camps, and especially this one, man. I'm already down in the 6%, 20 pounds over still, body fat. So I'm like super lean, more muscle mass than I had when I was 185 when camp started. And I'm down with more muscle mass and I'm more lean, so shout out My Fit Foods. They've done a great job of like keeping me in great shape. And shout out my team that got me ready for this fight. Yeah, we're ready to go to war soon.
Yeah, and just tap in again for everybody that doesn't know already. September 14th,
Yes,
Bellator London Championship Series. Look forward to it. Thank you for tapping in with us today. I can't wait for that fight.
my man, I appreciate you.